Town Talk today brings town manager from Duxbury, Rainey Reed, back to our set. Welcome, Rainey.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's the middle of summer in Duxbury.
It is.
So what are we going to talk about versus the beach? And something that happens every year in Duxbury is the piping plovers.
Yes.
They're back.
Yes, they are. They're like the swallows in Capistrano. They come back every year.
Yep.
They rejoin us in the spring. This year we have 22 nests of plovers, which means we have over 50 birds out there running around at any given time. As a result of their presence, what we have to do is sometimes restrict certain areas of the beach. The birds are extremely territorial. When we see a nest, we cordon off a 300-foot radius around the nest, so that limits the beach. The beach is 3.5 miles long. There are two primary points of access, called the first crossover and the second crossover. And when that happens, we have to make sure that the birds are secure in where they're staying now, and that people don't go where they're nesting, because they can be predated. They can be killed if there are any adverse impacts, like dogs or people. So we try to limit the interaction between people and the birds.
So every nest has a 300-foot radius
Yeah.
around it. That's a no-fly zone.
Correct. And 2 years ago, we had a really tough experience where we had to actually close the beach for 32 days because they were everywhere. They were scattered up and down the beach. But in this case, they haven't scattered themselves up and down as they have in the years past. They're more in small clusters. But because they are territorial, we do have monitors out there watching the birds. People sit there. They're paid by the Duxbury Beach Reservation.
Which owns the beach.
Yes, the town does not own Duxbury Beach. A lot of people don't know that.
No, very interesting fact.
Yeah, it's owned by the Duxbury Beach Reservation. They've owned it for many, many years, and they've had a management plan in place to allow the commingling, if you will, of birds and people.
That's
we're one of the
so awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because of their excellent management, we're one of the few places where people and birds can exist at the same time and be out there at the same time.
Wow, that's absolutely fabulous. So they're here
They're here
the entire duration of the summer.
Correct. Right now, the normal number of vehicles that are allowed at the beach is 500.
Yep.
Right now, we have restrictions in place which are limiting that number to 240 cars. Ooh. So because we sell resident and non-resident stickers, the split is right down the middle. So normally we would have 250 and 250. But right now, because we're at the 240, we've got the limitation of 240, we're only allowing 120 resident, 120 non-resident.
Okay.
Which means if people want to visit the beach, which opens at 8, get there early.
And they do.
Oh, they do. We've had people lining up as early as 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right, to get their spot.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And they'll be there all day. And we usually see that the beach restrictions will have to limit access probably around by 10 o'clock in the morning for non-residents, and by 10:30 or 11 o'clock for residents.
Because there's just no more space.
Yeah, we've only got so much space.
Right.
But if people go to the beach and they can't get on the drive-on portion, they're certainly welcome to still visit, because we do have overflow lots that will allow, that will accommodate people and allow them to walk over the beach and still enjoy it.
And as many people can walk to the beach as they want to, right?
Absolutely.
Right, it's just the cars that you have.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, so we'll move on to one other thing. Yep. You're going to have a special town meeting in September.
That's correct.
And it's something to do with the flood maps. Could you let everybody know what that is?
The reason for having this special town meeting at all is, which will be, by the way, September 19th.
Okay.
Excuse me, that's a Monday evening. It'll start at 7 o'clock. The reason we're having the meeting at all is because FEMA has issued new floodplain maps. And as a result, when we received our letter from the federal government in May, we have 6 months to adopt new flood maps. And if we don't, our flood maps will revert back to where they were years ago. This is important for the town, because if we don't adopt these flood maps, people won't be able to refinance. They won't be able to get mortgages. It could be a huge financial mess. The insurance would be
just out of sight.
Absolutely.
Yes.
People wouldn't be able to afford it.
Right.
So it necessitated us to have this meeting to have the voters review and hopefully adopt the new maps, which I suspect will fly.
I couldn't imagine that it wouldn't.
Yeah, everybody knows that it's a good idea.
Right, right. Yeah. Okay, and in our last minute, talk to me about the Miles Standish Monument. I've looked at that for years.
Yep, people see it from all over the place. You can see it from water, you can see it from land. It is open on the weekends. It's open from 9 to 4, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. It's something that the Department of Conservation and Recreation started about 2 or 3 years ago, because for many years it was closed. It was in rather tough condition.
Right.
They've rehabbed it. You can take the 125 steps up to the top, and you can get a spectacular view of Duxbury Bay. Yeah, one of the things I like to joke around with my kids is I tell them, you know, it's the tallest monument in the world because it's miles above the rest. So
there you go.
We invite everybody to come on down. Yep.
Okay, to the Miles Standish Monument. Yep. And from the top, you can, on a clear day, you can see over to P-Town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, you can see the P-Town Monument. It's as clear as a bell.
And it's never crowded.
No.
So it's a place to go.
It is. It is. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Thank you, Rainey.
Thank you.
Good to have you.